A lot of you have a lot to say about what's happening in Florida, so we're going to begin with this story that has made its rounds all over social. A fifth grade teacher in Florida is under investigation for quote-unquote indoctrination. She showed her class a PG Disney movie called Strange World. Now, the movie includes a gay character who talks about his crush on another boy in the film. A parent complained, resulting in an investigation. The reason this is all such a big deal is because Florida recently expanded its so-called Don't Say Gay bill that prohibits classroom instruction about gender and sexuality. And today, a representative from the state's Department of Education is reportedly questioning students about the very incident. The teacher is responding to all of this. Take a look.
Is a character in the movie LGBTQ? Absolutely. Is that why I showed it? No. I have a lot of fifth grade students who have come to me this year, long before showing this movie, talking about how they're part of that community as well. The reason I was turned in is because one of the split students was a school board member's daughter. That school board member is currently on a rampage to get rid of every form of representation out of our schools. They're using it against me, saying they're protecting the children and it's for their safety. But what is this actually showing them?
So what do you think about this? And would you want your son or daughter questioned by the state government over something like this? And just to provide a little additional context, it's not like she just was showing a movie. The kids were taking standardized tests, and a number of the kids that had not yet finished their tests were able to go finish their tests. The kids that had finished their tests were kind of put into one classroom, and they all decided to show this movie because they're talking a lot about plants and ecosystems. That's what the movie is about. Every single one of the parents signed off on their children being able to watch PG movies. But here we are. You're a former Florida teacher.
Yes.
Where do you stand?
I mean, I did this. What she's talking about, I experienced every single year. At the end of the year, they give a certain amount of time for students to finish the test. They don't want to ostracize certain students that do need the full time, but usually it's almost twice as much time as they need. So they take the majority block of students, and Tori, Jeff, Erica, Sam, you guys would all send your students to my classroom where I have a video on. The reason you do this is because your books are closed for the year. There's no more grades being given out. The year is over. So I used to show the Scorpion King with that was mine. So at least she's trying to be scientific. I was like, just be quiet, we're done. And the idea that it's
a good movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah. And the idea that she would be attacked for this, for showing a movie that was on the cleared list, a PG cleared list movie, just shows you that they're making it so it's impossible to teach. We saw this. Not only are you dealing with school board members who think that they were sent from God, this is a quote from her, to stop this indoctrination, you're also dealing, Jeff, with students that have been away from school for 2 years. So they are well behind with COVID. You are also dealing with school shootings, especially in Florida, Parkland, and the fear that the students must have around there. So this is all, and the teacher tax credit was taken away. So what you're doing, slowly but surely, is you're making it impossible for students to learn at every turn. You want to go to the library, there's crazy people screaming there. You want to try and watch a movie at the end of the year, there's school board members screaming there. So how do you proceed forward? And the answer is you're not supposed to.
Right. I do think this is a very concerted effort, much like people abuse the judicial system with frivolous lawsuits in order to clog the system.
They're called slap suits.
Right. And this is the same thing. It's meant to clog the educational system. And what we're doing is we're taking the real issues, which is school safety, which is the defunding of a lot of different extracurricular activities, the underpay of student or teachers in general, and we're saying, look over here about this 2-minute piece that was in a PG movie that was on the approved list. It's all a part of a bigger plan. And let me just tell you, in case you aren't in the know, school of educations and universities across America are down in enrollment to the point that a lot of them are trying to figure out how to keep their doors physically open. That means no one wants to become a teacher. And why would they want to become a teacher? Like, not only are you underpaid, your security, you're expected to make sure that you fall in the lines of parents who, yes, of course, be a part of your child's educational system, be a part of their development. But what's happening right now are people who are going in with agendas in order to make sure that people who do want to be teachers, and God bless those people, because, I mean, Honestly, those are the true heroes that you would even want to continue to do this for whatever reason. But they're doing it in order to make it more difficult. And I think it's only a matter of time. And I give it about 5 years. We already have a teacher shortage in a lot of cities in this country. But 5 years, you're going to be asking, how is my child going to be educated?
All right, I'll go. This is from the school board member, Shannon Rodriguez. Also
The one that
the teacher
turned in the teacher.
The teacher that turned in, I'm sorry, the parent that turned in the teacher, correct. She wrote, it's not a teacher's job to impose their beliefs on opponent children, child, religious, sexual orientation, gender identity, any of the above. As a leader in this community, I'm not going to stand by and allow this minority to infiltrate our schools. God did put me here. First off, we're not in a theocracy. Second of all, you've ripped away First Amendment rights for all the children in that school. This is an unconstitutional decision. 3, hypocrisy. There was a heterosexual couple kissing in that movie. If we can't talk about sexual orientation, I'm sorry, then what are we doing with engagement rings? Because I'm married to a man. I can't show that at all. So all of this smells like something to me. And I'm going to tell you right now, and you might think I'm overreacting, but when you start to ban things and have government officials questioning 11-year-olds about content, that smells like Germany in 1939. I'm not saying we're there. I'm saying this is the exact path that started it. This is un-American. This is unconstitutional, and it's unfair to the students and teachers that want to learn. Period.
Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Well, when you talk about the educational system like Erica was, right, I think universities are having a problem with certain ideologies getting jammed down their throats, right? I don't think this is the case when we're talking grade school. I think it's such a minority of people who don't think it's a great idea. My kids watch this movie. There's no problem. If you watch any new show on TV now, I think Hollywood has to incorporate some form of LGBTQ representative in whatever they're doing. If you watch any new movie, any new TV show on Netflix, you're going to see this. If you go on YouTube, everyone is a representation of this, right? If you think you're going to keep this away from your kids with blinders on, you're the crazy one, right?
Exactly.
So you're the crazy one person we're talking about here. It's the very small minority. Once again, we're talking about making the loudest noise.
But there is
just like the
legislation.
internet.
And
yes,
that's what's
and I
alarming.
think here's what's happening. I think people are getting tired of getting certain ideologies on all levels jammed down their throat. And we're breaking up into little segments. This group's here, this group's here. If you're not with us, you're against us. And I think Florida is forming their own little nation, their own little government. If you don't like it, you could move out. People don't like the way things are governed in Chicago, they're moving out of Chicago. People are starting to move and go where they're representative of themselves.
You know what I worry about is those 11-year-olds, because she said, if you watch her whole video, that there has been a number of children that have, you know, had some hesitancy, but they felt comfortable with her going to her saying, I identify as queer.
Right.
So
Before she showed the movie.
Before she showed the movie. And just, you know, throughout the school year. So then you have these children who are already struggling because of this Don't Say Gay bill or whatever is happening in their own home life. Then you have them being sat down by someone interrogating them, pretty much saying that who you are can't be discussed, who you are can't be shown, because it's wrong.
Yep.
What is that going to do to that 11-year-old child? That's what I'm concerned about.
We see it in the
supposed to
suicide rates.
Thank you.
We
And we're
see
supposed
it,
to protect the kids, really? And we're supposed to trust the teachers to defend our kids and arm the teachers because we want the teachers to protect our kids. So we trust the teachers to be armed,
But not to
we
teach.
don't trust the teachers to teach.
Correct.
What is happening here? Make it make sense.
It's fascism and it's coming.
That's a great
So
point.
terribly sad. I worry about those 11-year-olds. That's who I care about.